give a short overview what will happen within the next hours, so that we're going to provide a tour, that we go into the pit. I show the pit on the picture and where we are currently at.
When I first went to Lac des Îles and saw the mine, I didn't realize what impact we could have in the world by extracting this material. This is a material that cannot really be recreated. If you try to replicate it synthetically, you can, but you can never get to the level of performance when the original organic deposit was impacted by the movement of the plates, because you can't replicate the pressure, you can't replicate the temperature. You have to find it, you have to extract it, you have to process it so that you can then access something that you can't really recreate any other way. Yeah, I can remember the first time I came to the Lac des Îles mine. It was in the middle of winter, and what really shocked me was how black it was. You know, everything was black. Lac des Îles is really the start of everything with regards to graphite for North America.
This is what we consider being high-grade graphite. Obviously, when you're picking it up inside the ground, that's been there for millions of years, the graphite will be in different concentration. This is what we consider high graphite content, and you can tell it just by manipulating it. Well, it's shiny because it reflects the sun or the lights in here, but in reality, it's quite dark. This is finished product.
Well, there's only two forms of crystalline carbon available in nature today. And one is graphite and the other one is diamond. Graphite is very close to diamonds. So you have to imagine that in order to get the specific temperature and pressure that would turn that organic material into graphite, you need very specific conditions that happen at that point in time. And so it's pretty rare, just like diamond is pretty rare. In order for you to discover a vein of graphite, you have to go to a specific place and you have to discover the vein so that you can then identify the conditions that were there many millions of years ago when the graphite was created. The Lac des Îles mine is the beginning of the legacy of graphite for Canada. So it plays a very important role because not everybody understands what it takes to produce graphite.
So currently we're standing at the spot where we are about to expand the pit. The area where we're currently standing is about to be in stripped, so we will remove the overburden, we will remove the soil. So currently in the pit we are mucking. That's what you call in mining when you get material out of the pit. That's the actual mining.
This mine is supporting the graphite industry, especially in North America, for over 30 years with graphite flakes.
The mine in Lac des Îles was created at the end of the 80s. And in those days, the market for graphite was quite limited. It was mostly to make steel. The Lac des Îles mine was discovered and was exploited in order to service that market, which was quite small. And the market has grown since then, but the real big growth in the market actually only started about 10 years ago when the lithium-ion battery exploded.
The big topic of today, electrification. We're in the middle of a transition from fossil fuels to sustainable low-carbon renewables. And one big cornerstone is, for sure, energy storage. The electrification which is happening today is based on lithium-ion batteries. The largest component by weight is graphite in the lithium-ion battery.
It's not that we're putting any dangerous chemicals to it, so there is not, like with gold, there is no leaching involved, so no acid required to leach out a certain mineral out of the rock, out of the ore. So we do it by environmental friendly flotation, so we can directly bring in our tailings to this pond. Yeah. Yes, so we've also already seen fishes in there. We did not put them in there, but there are actually fishes swimming in there. And yeah, so it's very clean. Yeah, there's life. Yes.
I believe that graphite is a critical mineral that will develop our future, or will shape our future, to be better said, because the EV market is growing and we need graphite.
We can do a lot of things with flakes, it's very important, but we want, as a company ourselves, to bring it to another graphite product, which is battery anode material.
Our strategy is not only to sell graphite in the traditional markets, but also in the battery markets.
Where we process it and make it useful to be directly used in lithium-ion batteries. And every one of us has it in their smartphone every day, and typically we are mad about, oh, we're running out of batteries. So like, we all want better batteries. We want to have the energy storage working. So I think it's a very important topic of this time, and it's amazing being part of the story. Flakes is something which is really a rather big material. It's macroscopic. So what we need to do is we need to first size it down.
So what you have to do when you're producing graphite is you have to take this rock and you have to crush it, and then you have to put it in water so that the actual stone will fall to the bottom and the flakes will liberate and start floating at the top. So you will go through many different cycles of flotation, and so you will separate the flakes from the rock itself.
Northern Graphite has to leverage its position as a first mover, its position as the only active graphite mine in North America. We are the only producers of graphite.
Ben, c'est une fierté. C'est quelque chose comme notre hydroélectricité, comme notre eau, comme beaucoup de choses que nous on fait, l'aluminium, puis le graphite fait partie de cette spécificité qu'on a en tant que Québécois.
And I think we have to leverage this advantage.
So today, graphite is probably one of the most important critical minerals because it is essential for the lithium-ion battery, and we don't have enough of it.
Here, I think it's always important to see where we can improve our processes and also where we can bring this into the future. Yeah? So not stopping here at the graphite flake, but also further refining it, further developing it to a product that can be used in the EV battery industry.
We have an amazing natural product here. We have high crystallinity battery-grade graphite, and the demand for this mineral is in the next years increasing and skyrocketing.
We have to speed up. We have to develop more deposits because we're going to need the material in order to fulfill the demand that's coming down the pipeline.
We need to drive the electrification. We need more material in the market. Today it's dominated by the Chinese.
Well, you see, the Chinese, when they started developing the lithium-ion battery, and today most batteries are manufactured in China, and when they started investing in the space, they decided that graphite was going to be strategic for them, and so they really worked hard to develop all the graphite resources that they had. What's quite interesting is that from a market perspective, we did not see that coming. And therefore, you know, the Western world, and in particular Canada, did not invest at the same time as the Chinese did. So now we have to catch up. We're probably 10 years behind what the Chinese have done.
When Northern Graphite took over the operations from the previous owner, there was only a limited life of mine. So on paper there was not much graphite available anymore.
Oh, actually it's a very interesting story.
That pit was coming to an end of life at the end of this year. And so we spent the last 2 or 3 years looking for additional resources.
Everybody in this area, or the mine's going to shut down, it's doomed, the operators on the plant. Everybody was sort of had that mindset that it was going to be over in 18 months. One of the challenges was really getting through that mindset. You know, the guys who had been here, they had it in their heads and so it was. We had to get over that mental challenge. And in addition to that, the previous owners, they really hadn't prepared. So when we took over, there was no spares in stores, and you know, we'd be running out of material. Some of the material was long lead items, so we'd have a lot of problems just that you don't normally face.
Nevertheless, we looked at the data, and our specialists looked at the data, and we thought there's more to it. So we believed in that mine.
We're now 3.5 years since that day. We're still going, and we just identified another 8 years of deposit. So we've got at least another 8 years, and I'm sure there'll be more than that.
At the same time, we continue to explore the area. We continue to work with other companies that have deposits in the area, because that is really the start of where graphite deposit will be in the future. And there are many in Quebec and in Canada.
At the moment, what you've seen today is just the start of our journey.
I'm very passionate about graphite.
You know, I'm at the end of my career. I still got a few years left, but it's important that we transmit this information to the next generation to make sure that we stay as a leader in this industry.
Fascination is like making an impact on this whole change. It's like having this opportunity, to, like with the work we are doing here, to have this kind of impact is something really special.
It's not a job where you sit 9 to 5 on your laptop. For sure, that's not the case.
And I've enjoyed every part of it. It's because it's always been exciting, something new, the different types of ore, the different types of mining processes. We're here at Northern Graphite right now, and I'm privileged to be here to help.
Looking back, when I made my PhD, I would have never thought standing in a graphite mine, being part of this journey, it's amazing.
Sometimes, yeah, there are chances that passing you in life, and sometimes you grab the chances, and that was one of them. Yeah, lucky to be here.
And what excites me is the potential of all the applications of this material, and the fact that we have a lot of it in Canada, and the fact that we can now use this material to transform the economy, transform the world, drive the electrification of the world, and play a major role in what our future looks like.
My grandfather was a very smart man, and he was also a supervisor. My father was an electrician. He was a supervisor in the mines. I have 2 brothers. All 3 of us are supervisors. 2 of us are in the mining industry. I'm in the maintenance side. So it's almost a family trait that we've all gotten to that point.
Je suis arrivé, là, il n'y avait rien. Il y avait un bureau, une petite cabane, c'est tout ce qu'il y avait au début. Avec le temps, ben là, tout s'est bâti, la construction de l'usine, le garage, tout s'est bâti au complet. C'est ça, depuis le 13 février 89, on va faire 36 ans. On a commencé ma 37e année au mois de février.
Over the years, I've worked in platinum, I've worked in gold, I've worked in rare earths, I've worked in lithium, I've worked in also copper, nickel, gold, you name it, uranium. I've worked in all those areas, and they all have their own different processes.
C'est pas n'importe qui peut travailler dans les mines, c'est pas n'importe qui peut être un professionnel des mines. Ça prend une personnalité bien spécifique.
L'univers, les mines, c'est le fun, une mine. C'est pas juste dire, ah, je me lève le matin, m'en va travailler, je reviens. Non, la mine, tu l'as dans toi à temps plein. Tu peux pas la sortir. Elle est là, puis tu peux pas sortir.
I'm getting to the end. I've got another 3 or 4 years in me. I want to work for another 3 or 4 years. You know, when you get to this sort of the end of your career, it's not necessarily about financial rewards. It keeps you going. It's enjoying what you do. Like other people, you know, maybe they just want the money, but I'm just here for the challenge and the enjoyment.
La passion, je pense. Encore le goût.
Je suis pas capable de travailler si j'ai pas de passion.
J'ai encore le goût de le faire, puis j'aime le faire. J'aime ce que je fais, puis je pense pas que ça s'arrête là.
Ce que je préfère dans mon métier présentement, c'est de travailler avec les mineurs, d'être avec eux autres dans les tranchées, de manger la même poussière qu'eux autres, de vivre la même chose qu'ils vivent.
I jumped in with both feet. I enjoy this. I'm here 12 hours a day. So that is an ongoing challenge. That's something that drives me in the position I'm in.
When I wake up in the morning, I'm anxious to get to work. That's a tremendous gift, because there's a lot of people that wake up in the morning and say, oh, I gotta go to work. I don't feel that way.
You never know what's going to happen next. It's always a surprise. It's an adventure.
I don't have to be here on a daily basis, but I personally want to have the boots on the ground, yeah? But you get a different feeling when you walk into the pit, when you talk to the operators, either in the pit, in the plant, and you get a better feeling. I just like that part of the work.
There's a term called pack-sack miner. You move, you live everywhere out of a pack-sack. Some contracts are 6 months, some are 3 years.
Ma femme m'a tout le temps dit qu'on vit comme des gitans.
But it's interesting because it's never the same humdrum thing. I listen to people that have worked at the same place for 30 years and always ask myself the question, could I have done that? No way. I'm more of a gypsy. I got to keep moving.
Moi, je suis pas une personne qui va travailler dans un bureau puis qui bougera pas. J'ai besoin d'être dehors puis j'ai besoin de mettre des bottes.
Donc, je ne changerai pas. Je ne changerai pas mon travail pour faire de quoi d'autre. Ça, c'est définitif.
For career-wise, I pretty much did what I wanted in life.
Over the time, I've looked at senior people in senior positions and think, oh, I want to do that, I want to do that. But I found as you get closer to those positions, you get further away from the hands-on. And I enjoy the hands-on and the operations. I don't enjoy the bureaucracy of a head office, and you know, that's not for me. I've wasted a bit of time trying to get to those positions, and I got there, and then I didn't enjoy it. So I think I would tell the younger Dave to, don't worry about it, you're not going to enjoy it. Do what you enjoy. That's what I would tell him.